kind of add what John has talked about is trying to figure out how we can work with the Glacial Lakes Trail. And we really have three missing segments. The plan was to always go along County Road 137 west of Stearns County Center there, either on the road or off the road in the ditch. You know, we've always wanted it along the river, but that's just not gonna probably happen. So we had that section from basically where Woods Nursery, we have a little bit there, and from there to basically the other side of Stearns County Service Center. That's segment 1A, B, or however you wanna look at it. And then these are the other two that we need to build. So, Terry thinks we can do this in section B behind Parkway. We've talked about this a number of times over the years. I think we'll try to ratchet that up a little bit higher here and get that maybe planned out, even do some design on that in the next year or so, so that we're ready to go. John's successful in getting section A, which I think he will be.
Yeah, stay tuned on that.
We'll at least get that part done, so.
And then we'll go ahead of those houses.
So that basically just be 10-foot wide
Yes, concrete trail, yep.
concrete.
You said they cost, didn't you, John, 215?
Well, okay, I remember 235. Is it 215?
215,
Okay.
so that includes lighting. So, we,
Just a couple other thoughts on this. You know, along Division Street out here, the city has done from the theater all the way down to
Mills.
So we're gonna take it to the work session on Monday night for the council, just to bring this up and get kind of their consensus to say, yeah, go ahead, John, let's go for it. And it really doesn't need a motion or anything like that, but we want their kind of blessing, so John doesn't waste his time moving forward with it, so. So I think it would be good for the park board to at least have a motion on the floor to recommend to the council that they should look at this and have John go ahead and apply for it.
Did you second it? All right. So we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. It goes on to the city council then. All right, thank you, John. And we'll move on to number 5, the fitness court.
So things are moving fast and furious along with this, and I'm looking for some files here. Of course, I'm not seeing them. I don't know what happened. This might be one of them here. I don't want to. Okay, computers just don't want to work when you want them to. What the heck? All right. So fitness court is just show a visual up here for the time being while I talk about it. The project is moving along nicely. We have a kind of a strict timeline of different facets that had to be done. We are on schedule. If you noticed out there, that it kind of sat for about 2 weeks. Well, the reason was is it had to cure enough before we start hammering anchors into the concrete. So that work could have started this week. The contractor that was going to do that for us decided that he wanted to wait closer to the time before we do the pour and play, because you're going to have all these studs sticking up on the out of there, and so we got a little bit of a liability. We've got chances of people knocking around, or if they want to try to beat them and bend them. So I think his plan now is still to get them in before Friday, and then actually even cut boards out and kind of cut them with boards. Last I'd heard, that's up to him if he wants to take that risk. Right now, the pour and play is scheduled for Monday, the 6th, depending weather. And that's got me a little nervous. They need about 3 to 4 days of decent weather. So with that kind of schedule, I haven't talked to the Lions Club yet, and I talked a little bit more with Dean, kind of as the parks, and we'll kind of oversee this. I think our best bet that we decided late this afternoon is that it's probably going to be Dean and me down there with maybe a couple of our seasonals, depending on time, if they're still here. And then we're going to ask the Lions Club if they want to come over and help, and they can help lift and move things and just supplement.
You can give me the date on that.
Yeah, right now I'm going to shoot for Monday the 13th is what I'm thinking, John, at
Okay.
12 o'clock till about 3. Because I'm not going to work overtime. I'm not going to. And then it'll be Tuesday 9 till 3. And this is all depending on all kinds of ifs and ands and buts out there. But at this point, we'll have to just kind of wait and see how this all goes.
Well, besides the Wade Park Lions, I've got the South Side Lions, and I'll let people know.
Yeah,
Most of my people work during weekdays. So
yeah, and I just think this is Dean told me, he says this is too big a project to just kind of turn over to somebody that,
Yeah,
they're going to
well, I
need
know,
tools
and I
and all that
understand that.
stuff. So I think that's kind of how we're going to go about it. So anyway, that's the plan. We had set up for this week to do the anchors, next week to pour and play. The following week was supposed to be to install the equipment. Giving ourselves a week of the 20th is kind of cleanup week, just to do final touches, whatever you needed to do, and then prepping for the launch party, which is on August 30th. Right now, tentatively set for 10 o'clock in the morning. And I'll try to throw something up here on the screen about that also. So we got a few days in between there for weather, if need be. So this is a picture of the back of it. The envision is at some point in the future, it's not going to be probably yet this year, where there'd be some sort of nice logo on the side here, either waves or something like that, and a reader board. City Council really wants to install an electronic reader board for the city for notifications on here. So that's what you'll see on here. It'll start out blue like what you see. Just another couple pictures here of what it's going to look like on the inside. It's a little hard to see in here, but if you can look closely here, you can actually pick out where it says Shields or Powerade. These are the sponsors that John worked hard to get. There's a little bit better close-ups here of what that decal looks like. And I don't know if you saw, John, they still haven't showed up, but they are shipping at this moment. So
What?
the decals have shipped, but they haven't arrived yet. So that's going to go on the inside for the sponsors.
Just for you people that information, that's about $35,000 those people gave.
Yep. So, let me see if I've got. Don't think I have this on the screen here, so bear with me for 1 minute to see if I have it. I do not. So let me just talk for just a few minutes here. So this launch party is basically set up by the National Fitness Campaign group. Anytime they open one, they do what they call a launch party, and kind of a big deal in the point that they will have it's set up for 10 o'clock, but they have a timeline that they go through every day, every one of these, where they actually bring in vendors. I'm going to work with Shauna and Carl or Margie on that here next week, kind of doing final details. They're looking for ambassadors. I can get more information out about what that is. It's probably more like people that are in fitness clubs like that come out and help maybe train or trainers, this type of stuff. But it's going to be vendors arrive. They are looking for people to give away stuff and different things like that. 10 o'clock, the ceremony starts. It's open remarks by the mayor. We'll give a little to-do thing. The sponsors, the big sponsors of Shields and Viking will have an opportunity to speak if they want. So I'm expecting Viking to have a pretty big presence out there that day, and probably Shields also.
The other major, Rejuve Medical was.
Rejuve, yeah. And I think that's where we're going to target for the ambassadors type of thing.
Chunk of money.
Then it'll go back to the city for actually physical ribbon cutting. There'll be group photos they're talking about, and then they're going to do what they call a fitness court challenge. So they would like people to sign up and actually do a fitness challenge out there, and go through the circuits and all this kind of stuff. And then basically at the end, there'll be circuit classes at the very end after it's done for people. So I know it's very vague. I apologize for it, but we're not really sure. But I believe that our contact Bianca out of San Francisco, I think she's going to be here for that. I think so. So they take it very seriously. And then I was also contacted by somebody in Rochester that they want to know how this is working and how it's going, because
We have the only one in Minnesota.
yep, that's why they're making a big deal out of this. So, there's just a number of things. I can I'll send this out as an email to you a little bit later as an attachment next day or so.
Invite like Stearns County Public Health or commissioners? They may want part of it, just if nothing else for the health part of it, and have their presence.
Well, I'll send out an email about it, and then we can reply back to help, because I've got too many squirrels going up here that I will probably forget. I
Absolutely.
apologize. So
No,
just to be
that's
upfront.
fine.
So,
I can always forward it on to the public health director too.
yep. So, look forward to it. I hope you guys can find the time to come down for that. At that time, again, roughly, right now it's planned for 10 to 11 on Thursday the 30th. So just watch for more information as that comes, and we'll plaster it on social media too, the more we get more information on that. But looking forward to having that done, so.
Okay. Then we'll move on to number 6 in River Edge Park.
So, since we last met, if you remember, we had plans to do the ball fields yet this year. We were working with the National Joint Powers Alliance to get a quote from them on that project. All I'll tell you is that methodology is done and over with, and we basically cut bait with that process. So everything is back to the way we used to do things, where you bid it out, general contractor, and use our own architects and engineers. So long story, but it's that we're talking about. So we're moving forward. So with that being said, we have money that the mayor had sold the 2 fields and getting them open and playable by 19. We had to jump on it. So we met with the council and asked for authorization to go to bid. Bids will be received on Wednesday on the 8th for what we call phase 3 of River's Edge. And I've got so many plans here, so I hope I get the right one. And that's not the right one. I do want to share with you what we have, so. It would have been easier if I would have had these all labeled some way I could have found them. Well, I'm gonna throw this up while I try to look at. Just to give you an idea with the fitness court, this was our timeline. You can kind of read and see where we're at. Sorry, as I go through here, I'm popping things up that I see that I missed. I'm gonna give you, this is the, what the pour in place will look like, the color choice that we chose. It's this one here, this blue and black. And why can't I find the River's Edge Park? I can't. Well, it'll come to me. The plan is, at this point, is just to do any of the utility work out there that's needed for water and sewer to the future maintenance building and the fields, and a little bit of trail work at this point. Demoing of the bathrooms and such. So we're hoping that we get favorable bids. But we'll know on Wednesday, so we'll see where that's at. Plan is that if we do get favorable bids and they're worth it, council's gonna have a work session on the 22nd and we'll ask for approval then. And we hope to start work probably mid-September. Shouldn't take too long out there. I mean, there's not a great deal of work. We have to increase the size of the pond a little bit. That's probably the most extensive stuff, but that's not critical to getting those fields ready so that we can get some grass down and get irrigation in is probably the biggest thing, so.
Is that gonna include any parking lot work?
No, not under this.
Okay. On the, be on the west side, pretty close to where the entrance is to the disc golf course, there's quite a hole in the
The west side, oh, and the bituminous over there? Yeah, that'll all get taken out now and
Okay.
cleaned up, so. I apologize, I'm gonna still find this for you. Let's see. So, again, here is, I might have a better picture of it. Flip through here quick. Backstop details, everything will be like the Plaza Park or Deerwood Field and Darrell Rapp Field. So that concrete bottom with the pads. These are just details of handicap curbs and stuff, so bear with that. This will be the removal plan here, so this is the part that'll all get torn out. This is where you're talking about, Ken, right? Right in here.
Yep.
So all that's gonna get removed. This is the utility work we'll do. We'll actually stub in the storm sewer work that needs to be done, will be there for the future parking lots. Run water and sewer over to the location where the maintenance building bathrooms would be. Part of this project. And then the ball fields. Dugouts, just like we have at the other fields.
that same side fields then?
Yep. And I think the rest goes into some more details type of stuff, but basically it's the same thing. Scoreboards These scoreboards are gonna be a little bit different. Not that you'll see a difference from the Plaza Park or Barrel Wrap Field, same ones. But these are gonna be different, in fact, that they're gonna be facing Third Street, and we're gonna actually have a back plate on them so that the sponsor actually gets advertising on both sides. The front side will be a 4x4 sign, and then the back side, it's actually 4x13. So, they get a little bit of extra boost there, so. Anyway, I don't think there's anything really else that is of major interest at this point. So, hoping that that all works out for us, that we can get that taken care of. So, anything else on that?
We're good. All right, then we'll move on to number 7, Lions Park.
I don't know, I think Jeannie, you went to the meeting out there a couple of weeks ago, I think that the police chief had, right?
I did.
Yep, okay. I was not able to attend.
Back and forth thing. Families that specifically moved there to be by the basketball courts. Families that live there with small children that can't use them because of some of the folks coming in. So the city decided to lock the basketball courts for a while. Since then, they've taken the locks off. And they're gonna try it without the locks. Some of the concerns were the littering, the amount of cars that were in the neighborhood that were probably not following street legal safe routines. And a lot of the language was a concern, and maybe some of the extracurricular activities that wouldn't be quite legal. So all of those things are being looked at, they're being watched. The police chief has assured us that, you know, they will keep some presence out there, and that if the neighbors do feel that there's now, I think it's status quo. We're just gonna leave it as is until either a better solution comes up. I think they're also talking about adding some basketball courts towards the Discovery School area. Because that is definitely, I mean, it's used, there's a lot of kids there. There's probably too many kids, not kids, there are too many bodies there for the amount of space that is allowed for the 2 courts. If you were doing a per diem sort of thing, it's too many for parking and for everything else. So I guess the whole thing is we need more basketball courts.
So, yeah, along with that, some of the items that, we opened it up about a week ago again. And we have, the police department has created, I think the signs are up, but I haven't checked recently. They put up a couple signs out there talking about, please clean up yourself, be courteous, this type of stuff. Is in multiple languages. So that was one thing. Yeah, go ahead, John.
Just knowing that half that park is in St. Cloud, have you guys talked to St. Cloud to see if they would ever put in basketball courts?
We talked about doing playground way back when over there, and they didn't want to do that.
They wanted, okay, well,
I don't think they really have the room over there. It's not as much room on their side as
okay,
you
well, I
think.
just
Yeah, no.
might ask you.
So some of the concessions are the items that took place to open it up were, the courts are locked at roughly 8 o'clock at night, padlocked by the police department. And the maintenance department, Public Works, actually opens them up at around 8 o'clock in the morning. We will unlock them. So they will be open for the public to use for basically about 12 hours a day. The police department was gonna put extra staff on and try to stop by more often and actually get out and mingle around with them. Yep. There's been other individuals that have come forward and said that they'll go over and kind of be an ambassador, if you want to call, visit with them, try to tell them, glad you're here, but please, use appropriate language, clean up after yourself, all this kind of stuff. We also installed a porta potty over there. If you haven't been by, we put one in, staked it down because I was a little worried about wind or vandalism. Right now, we're just gonna run it through until about October. Sometime we'll pull it out, see how that was received. Literally, we should have an ADA one in there. We didn't put that in at this point. We're just gonna do a temporary, see how this works out. That's about it. We'll see how it's going. I haven't heard too many complaints yet, but again, I'm not gonna hear them. It's gonna be with the police department and stuff like that. But at least we do know it's back open again. And you're right, I think the mayor's looking at other sites in the city, school properties or other apartment units. If they've taken them out, maybe they should put them back in again and different things like that, so.
And I think actually, once being at the meeting, I did not realize that the apartment complexes had removed
Yeah, that's what
theirs.
happened.
And I think that's where the crux of the issue is, where so many of these kids that may be living in apartments or having their friends over or whatever, they don't have that same space. That's been taken away. And that's unfortunate. I don't have a problem with the basketball courts being there. It is concerning when you have so many people in one condensed area that the neighbors are having a hard time getting through the streets or feeling unsafe just even in their backyards. That's where the problem lies, I guess. There must be a happy medium out there somewhere, and I think it really is creating more space for hoops.
Okay, nothing else on Lions Park, then we'll move on to number 8, disc golf course.
Excuse me. So, with the advent of the bridge opening, and we had to readjust one hole down at disc golf, they have been lobbying to go to 18-hole course, 15-hole course, 12-hole course. They wanted more holes out there, which, I'm fine with, but we just don't have that much space. Met with Tim Mackey and Adam Gores here over the last month, been talking to them about it. I basically hired them to do a layout for a 12-hole course. They have thus done that and marked it out there. This is again in this area down here, if you can see my mouse, very similar to overgrown, brushed area. So we got to go in there and carve out a bunch of scrub brush and trim some trees and stuff and nurture some grass in there and create more holes. It's kind of a mess at this point. This is what Tim gave me before he had to leave for a little bit, but nonetheless, it's roughly about what we're looking at doing and adjusting some holes. And what he's thinking is that you will park over at the splash pad, warming house parking lot, the main one there, and hole number 1 starts right off the cul-de-sac there, and then you work your way back in and then back out again. It's got some unique features here. This one's going to where they have to shoot over the drainage pond. So I kind of like what he's come up with here. So the reason we can go to 12 holes, basically no cost to the city for actually putting in the pins. Family Fun Fest, and I'll let you make that statement, Ken.
Yes, with the Family Fun Fest, the Spostug Festival, every year, we make donation into the Parks Department. And this year, they're donating $1,200 to help pay for the other 3 holes.
So, very nice. Appreciate it. So, we're going to be working on here. We're going to see how this guy's working out here working really well over here at the amphitheater site. I'm thinking he'll only be in there about a half an hour, and he'll have that all cleared out for us. So we hope to get that going and moving yet this fall. I don't think it'll be playable until next spring. I think we're going to have to do some other major tree cleaning in there. But nonetheless, we will march our way forward with this. The other thing that's with this project is, back a number of years ago when we opened the site up, Tim had created some tee signs at the tee boxes, you know, just like a regular golf course, where's your hole, how far is away, is there obstacles? And those signs have either been destroyed or have been faded out and so forth. And talking with him, I said, I'd like to take this to another level to actually have really nice signage out there for the tee boxes, a course sign. So this is some examples that we're going to be working on over the winter. It'd be an overview, attractive sign, very detailed with what it would look like. I'm not sure where's my other ones at. I'm not pulling up. Of course, nothing works when you want it to. It's the same one or not. This would be an idea, make a little bit of a little shed here. There's course rules. Let me see if I can. I think I've got one here. This is kind of what we're thinking about. There's actually a guy locally that does this. This one's from Mayhew. Something like this where it's a little bit nicer. So those are some of the amenities that we're looking at doing. And then the final big amenity is Eagle Scout projects. And it's going to come up a little bit later, but I can talk about this one now. We have a gentleman that wants to do an Eagle Scout, and I've asked him to do concrete tee boxes. We have been playing on gravel tee boxes since the beginning, and thought this would be a good project for him. It started out with 9 holes, and thinking maybe we get 6 out of them. Now we're at 12. I'm not sure. I haven't talked to him recently, so I'm not exactly sure if we're going to get this pulled off this year or not, or where we're going to be at. But the intention is that we were just going to have him build the forms and put it on the existing rock. Very easy for him. And he just has to build the forms and stake them down, get some people to pour the concrete. Off we go. So that's the other thing that's going on out there. I would think by next year at Family Fun Fest, this should be all done. We'd have a 12-hole course with concrete out there, and hopefully all the signage done. So it's gonna take us about nine months to get it there, but we will. So excited about that.
Great. Okay, anything else on the disc golf course? Then we'll move on to the 13th Avenue restroom.
So again, as I told you, and I think I've shown you a drawing here before, and it was going to look like the pavilion. Once we saw some of the rough numbers coming out of the NGPA, and also the architect giving me some numbers, I had to sit down. I said, I'm gonna call somebody, and I did, and they said the same thing. So back to the drawing board. So what we see here is basically what we're proposing. He's still finalizing the plans up. It's basic building. There was a lot of money in that structure to make it look like the other one, and it's too bad. I mean, but that's what it is. So hopefully this number will come down in an area that will be more palatable and more realistic, that we can actually still try to pull this off. So it's going to basically, it'll look like the warming house down at River's Edge, or the splash pad buildings at River's Edge. So nothing too fancy about it on the outside. The inside hasn't changed. I mean, it's going to be hard to see. I will try to blow it up, but everything has stayed the same. Yep, 2 families on this side here. You've got your handicaps for each sex there. 2 stools for the women's side, 1 for the man, and then a urinal. So nothing too crazy. I am looking to I'm going to do an alternate bid on this project for time locks on the doors. I don't know how much it's going to cost, and we'll see where it's at, but
Is there an overhang on that?
there was not. Go back. No. There is back, I don't think, there's a little bit here on the family bathroom, I believe, Ken. I just got these this afternoon, so I haven't had a full chance to read it. No, there isn't on those either. So, let's see what else we got here. Just very little.
We could add canvas overhangs for the summer, taking down the roof.
Right. As far as,
It'll be concrete all
yeah,
the way to the sidewalk. then,
yeah.
right?
correct, yeah.
You know, you go through a couple of summers of walking through the mud.
No, yes, there'll be
To the end.
sidewalk all the way around the building. Right, yeah, no, there'll be sidewalk all the way around the building, so, yeah. It doesn't show, it shows it out front here, but there is gonna be sidewalk all the way around the building. Again, this is at 90% level, this is just, and if you've noticed down here, we did take out the handicap ramp, or if you wanna call it that, it was a curb cut to get to the existing north building. Anytime you start doing anything with the streets, you have to meet ADA requirements, and there was no way to make it work. So our thoughts were, I visited with some people along there that used it, and after I explained it to them, they understood. Because literally, then you have to have one across the street. You just got to make all these requirements and all the grades. So our thought is that we could probably do something in the future where we may take out a piece of curb in the future, maybe 20 to 30 feet north of this building, so that if you were parked on the street, you could get up there, and then bring a sidewalk in kind of long curving way to get up to it if we need it, but at this point. The other thing with 13th Avenue bathrooms is that there's been a number of people that have stated their feelings to keep the south ones here, where the dump station's at, and the council has directed that they do not want those removed, so. What we'll do, one suggestion was, is to put a sign on that building when the new ones get put up, that if you need an ADA bathroom, there's 150 feet down the sidewalk, which could work, so. Get this built, then we'll go in and do some cleanup on this one here, and bring it up to a little bit better standard. We won't be ADA, but at least we can bring it up to a better standard than what it is today, so. The intention is with this one, along with, and I'll talk about, this, yeah, I skipped over the maintenance building, so I'll bring that one up here. I have this one someplace. Of course, do you think I can find it? Oh. This one I do want to show you. This one has had some major changes to it also. So. This is the maintenance building bathrooms for River's Edge that Ortel's working on for us also concurrently. Again, the bathroom, same thing, same layout, everything's the same there. It's just this added piece here for the maintenance area. Again, just received these, so you're gonna see this up a little bit more. The only thing different with this building is that our access to the mechanical room on 13th Avenue is on the back side. This one's going to be on the front, because we wanted that separation between the Babe Ruth staff and our staff. Basically, walk-in service door, there's gonna be a mezzanine, this diagonal line here designates a mezzanine. Electrical stuff can be put upstairs here, this is what 12 is here, panels for lighting and different things throughout the rest of the trail system. This will be storage up here for Babe Ruth. They are losing some with the new building, those other buildings being torn down, so. And then basically in here, it's just an open area, they got gonna have a workbench. They did salvage a bunch of stuff and shelving from the garage sale, so it got repurposed, moved over there, so that worked out well for everybody. The original plan is to have another additional building here, about 10 feet wide, and that was gonna be a heated wash bay. Well over 150,000 just for that little piece, so that went away in a hurry. We'll go repurpose and rearrange different things on the site to make our needs. One of them is actually the existing warming house garage. If you've been down there, you realize it's just got a little portion of it. It doesn't go all the way full length of the building. We're proposing that we just knock out that end wall and turn it 90 degrees and make that long. We don't need to have a wash bay in there, but we do want it heated, and that'll hold the equipment that we need, that we found that worked well for us for cleaning ice this year. So we need that extra length, so that'll just be a remodeling job that we could handle in the future. So there'll be a little bit of adjustment with that building, and then we're thinking about just building a little kind of a block wall, or maybe we'll do it in a cedar or something like that outside here. There'll be a hose bib out here, and Jason and staff can just wash their stuff out here. Or we can do it over by the Boy Scout building. There's a number of different options that we're gonna come up with, but there was no way we could afford this building as it is, so. And we're running into issues with our fiber stuff that was installed down there to run all the cameras and any of the network stuff that was installed in the splash pad building, and we have thus fried out switches from the chlorine within 2 months, so. I need this building to be done so that I can take out one of the bathrooms over there and turn that into an IT room for that. It's one thing after another, so. But I am excited to get this for the maintenance area and for the park itself. Those 2 bathrooms are not enough down there, and this will work out. Intentions here are to, I don't know if we're gonna get it late August, or it'll be sometime in September, but actually have Ortel and the architect come up here and go through the plans with the council, and actually go out to bid for both buildings. Not together, but separately, and see if we can't get a better price in that way. And so, nothing will be built this year, unless we got some really good pricing and we got decent weather, and maybe some work could start late fall, but I kinda doubt that. But anyway, that's where everything is at here, pending the council approves the plans, and then moving forward with authorizing bids. Any questions? Was there a desire to have an overhang? That was an issue here?
Mimic the other building. It seemed to fit well, so I think the overhang was just, it's not needed.
Well, I can ask him about,
Would-
can't change it too much structurally, but,
No, but
and add a few dollars, but it might, no.
not a needed.
Yeah, I would say if it's not gonna be anything super major as far as money, it probably wouldn't hurt to have a little bit of overhang.
I'm thinking 3 to 4 feet, is that,
Yeah.
which could your vision?
Wouldn't an overhang help the cement? Because I know with my garage, where the water came off the roof, the cement eventually gets eaten away.
Yeah, this will have gutters on it, so.
Oh, it will have gutters.
I-
Okay.
Yeah, you gotta make sure that drainage gets away from those buildings, so.
I really do think it was more aesthetic than useful, but it would be nice is raining and you are standing in the rain waiting to use the restroom.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, okay. I will talk to the architect about that a little bit, so.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, then we'll move on to the Lorraine.
Hi. Yeah, we have some updates for you.
Yeah,
So we
I'll
did
get
start
some-
with the 910 bed.
Yeah, I'll get these up here.
Little visual aid.
And these just play, right? That's right.
Yeah, hopefully it won't be too loud.
Oh, wait, no, I gotta go here. I'm sorry. Which one, that?
910
910?
bed.
Gotcha. Okay. If there's music, I'm gonna turn that off.
Everyone may remember those flower beds on the Healthy Living Trail that had the wood on them, and it's been there a long time, and the wood has seen better days. So now as a project began, and that bed was removed, joint action from the city and volunteers. I had Kohl's Department Store come for their group volunteer day. There's Janice out there supervising. Required some more dirt to be brought in, some soil. And the bed was just moved over under the trees because it was originally a shade garden, and then we lost one of the trees out there. It became a sun garden against its will, and now it's a lot happier being moved under the trees. I encourage everyone to go take a peek. It's a very nice garden. And there's Kohl's working away out there, department store.
Do they do more than one thing a year, or is it just one time a year?
Right now, it's one time a year.
One time a year?
Yeah. Have gotten another volunteer, though. Jeremy there working. He comes and works about once a week on his day off from Kohl's. And here's some of our summer hires, making sure that the plants are watered before the irrigation went in. The irrigation seems to be working great over there for that bed. Oh, this is the water tower going through its phase of another thing with the bridge coming open, there's a lot more traffic on that trail with the bikes.
How much more
So-
would you think?
A lot. I don't know how to tell you. I
I'd
think
say
you're
it's at least
measuring it.
double, if not triple.
Yeah,
Triple.
they're up and down there. That's our new hanging baskets. That's a work in progress. We're learning how to run them, I think. In very hot days, you have to top water a little bit, and so that'll take a little fine tuning.
And the
for those.
brackets were not designed, the baskets were heavier than what we thought they
You
would
need
hold.
a 150-pound bracket,
Yeah.
ability to hold 150
Yeah,
pounds.
so, we got Tyson's working on that, so.
Also, Bill, I wasn't aware of it, but there's a swivel piece that helps take the pressure off from the winds for
Okay.
those brackets. We should order those.
So, talk to Dean about that. then.
Okay. It just occurred to me to mention it.
What's the
Okay.
next one?
How about butterfly garden at the library? Gardens at the library continue.
They look very nice.
You ever been over there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've
So
been-
that's the beginning of the butterfly garden. You have to look fast as the paint part. This is early this spring. That's Park Meadows volunteers out there hand turning the soil. Working hard. And volunteers coming out and adding, we have heavenly blue morning glories going up those trellises this year. They were started in our grow room. She's modeling our new T-shirts. that one young lady there. That's the front of the library. And volunteers working away, planting those boxes. Those are the self-watering boxes.
The library staff thank you guys for what you do there.
Oh, yes, a lot. They're very,
Good.
it's the mulch waiting to go on the butterfly garden area. I was Dawn in the corner back there. She's our first visitor, a monarch butterfly on the swamp milkweed. And come on out and take a look. It's gonna take a little while to get established if their plants are kind of small. As volunteers in action. There.
You know what you're saying. Highlights?
Yep, I guess. Well, that's our grow room. We're trying to save the papyrus in that picture and starting various plants from seed. That was, they were making a, I don't know, a warming thing for outside. They're going a little fast here.
Yeah, I don't know,
It's-
that's,
Planting, city open house, people having fun at the open house. Oh, yeah, what? I know. Oh, that's the attempt to clean up the roundabouts this spring. We got one of them cleaned up, but you couldn't tell it right now. Flagpole gardens, more planting. These boxes look a lot different now. There are a lot of red and pink out there. Just volunteers in action. As they just kind of speak for themselves. That's our plant sale this spring, raising money for the fountain. More volunteers. And these pictures were taken a few weeks ago. You should go out and see all these planters now. They're really,
There's a picture
I'd
of
say
you
they're
there.
probably at their peak in this week. Bicycles coming down the trail. That's the opening of the bridge.
Bill, we should do some PR about the number of people coming down that trail
Yeah.
for the city. Get some good PR out of that.
The rock garden, what can we say? We are working on it. More people coming out to work on that today, or tomorrow, rather. Oh, it looks like a greenhouse.
that'll come here up in a little bit here. Oh,
Yes, we'll be looking into that.
nice job, Brian, putting that together for us.
Thank you.
Anything else that you want to add, Maureen? I mean, we'll talk about all that other stuff later, but.
Well, we just keep on keeping on, weeding and deadheading and planting.
Well, I will say, I appreciate everything that you and your staff and volunteers have done. That's amazing down on every place, I mean, that you guys have gotten to.
Thank you. We do a lot
Right.
of work.
Thank you, Lorraine. Then we'll move on to number 11, park updates.
I really don't have anything that, there's enough other stuff going on. I mean, yeah, I really don't have anything else on that.
Okay, then we can move on to number 12, the Eagle projects.
Yeah, so I did speak to you just a little bit ago, you know, about, I do have one Eagle Scout out there looking to do the tee boxes, thank you, Ken. We have one Eagle Scout project that is done, and I have some pictures, and we'll just talk a little bit about that. Yes, Peter Dorff, he did an amazing job. I went down and actually physically looked at him. So he brought him in and he dropped him off, or we actually went and picked him up, excuse me, let me put it that way. So I got 3 pictures of him. This is kind of a close-up one here. I mean, he really did a nice job. You're gonna
Yeah.
actually see that even closer. They are, he actually has a name, he has his own nameplate put on him too. It's, yep,
For him.
yep.
Yep.
And then here's the, so we got two of these, the 3x3s and 2 3x6s. So, my question for everybody here, let me zoom in so you can see his name. Peter Dorff, Wake Park Boy Scout Troop 20, Eagle Scout Project, so, all right, very impressive young man. Yeah,
Yep.
so, need to figure out a way that we're gonna, to offer these out to the general public. So if you guys got any thoughts on how to do that, I mean, it's not gonna be for this year, so we'd set it up for next
I'll take 'em.
spring. Well,
Well,
I know you would take them, Lorraine, yes, but,
you know, realistically,
so I'm looking for some ideas, yeah.
Facebook is a great place to start.
Yep.
And unfortunately, we don't have a paper anymore, so it's kind of hard to,
We could do something in the spring newsletter, or like, we could do like that.
well, you got a water bill coming out yet this fall?
I think I'd wait until spring or winter.
Well, it could. I'm just thinking that if, you know, if there would be somebody interested in it, at least you can start.
Oh, I see what you're saying, get it out there earlier.
Also, everybody isn't on Facebook, that would let the word spread.
Yeah,
Time you get on Facebook. Just kidding.
I'm on Facebook.
Well, good.
I assure you, I even send these emails on, you know?
Yep, there you go.
so would you what criteria do you think would be appropriate? Because, that's what I'm kind of struggling
You know,
with.
yeah, I guess part of it is these really weren't meant for private individuals, more of a community type thing. So I could see, you know, apartment complex maybe, you know, things along that line, you know. The school would have been a great spot for it.
Yeah,
Why don't you talk to Discovery? I bet they would be receptive. They can tie a class into doing something.
Even, area learning,
which one? Area learning?
I know that's not what it's called anymore, but is it? Yeah. Oh, it is, okay.
I got a very positive response from the Area Learning Center for the fitness courts, so I think you'd get a pretty good response on that.
Even the nursing home.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was just wondering, if it would be more for seniors or kids, and that's kind of where I was leaning towards, but I don't know. I mean, any ideas there?
Like with the school, a flower box in front of the school. Can't get more public than that.
I'll come up with something.
Yeah, as long as it's you know, a public access type thing.
The library was going to do a segment with kids in the summer. It's too late for this year, but they were going to have, you know, like, you know, how they do these little, I don't know what they're called, project things with the kids. They were going to do Let's Grow something at some point. But I don't know how big are these? They're pretty big.
3x3 and 3x6, two of each, so.
Area, they could put something in.
'Cause, at least my envision was more vegetable garden type things than it was planters for plants, you know, so that you could. But,
Garden, bringing it smaller though into, I'm not bringing up a big community garden, I'm bringing in a neighborhood garden. Where if you had a neighborhood, whether it's an apartment or in a nursing home or the park villas where you do a neighborhood instead of the big community. We need to bring it to, I'm not bringing that back, I promise you, John, I'm not.
well,
Different voice, you saw
yeah.
that stuff in here?
I'm wondering if it, you know, the nursing home, maybe talking to their staff to see if there was, I don't know how receptive it'd be over there, but park villas or the senior apartments that are just going up, you know, where they don't have, I mean, I could talk to the owner, Don Merritt, to know, I don't know if he was gonna put in a garden plots or not. Thought I heard maybe some rumors, so. Just areas where you can't have a garden. That was the intention here, is to give somebody an opportunity to grow a tomato that doesn't have the spot to do it. Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of patio homes
Well,
around.
maybe you just put it out there. We have these available. This is designed for you to grow vegetables where you do not have the ability to do it. Write a short 100-word essay why you deserve it. Or just, you know. Mhm. Yeah. Well, let's think about it. I mean, and if you got some ideas, just let me know, so.
Okay, sounds good. All right, then we'll move on to number 13, the budget.
So, I had to submit something here, and we're in the very, so this is what I have submitted for this year. Talking to Babe Ruth, there were some needs down there. Not sure if this is all gonna come out of the city's coffers, but at least I put stuff in here and we can deal with it. With the advent of another 2 ball fields, finished ball fields, they need some more equipment, and they were looking for a line painter, so for $1,500. The reason you see 2 different funds here, equipment and the capital, the equipment is anything under $5,000, and then the other stuff is over $5,000. So we are looking to hopefully have the council agree to re-net the quads in there. That was done in 2002 or 3, so it's outlived its life cycle. That needs to be replaced. They're looking for another mower down there. This is the one that I have to have some discussions with them, if it's gonna be a city cost or theirs, or combined. The big one in here is roughly about $125,000, might be even go a little bit higher. Replace the roof on the quad building and all the dugouts down there, soffits, fascia, and there's some minor tuck pointing that's gonna have to be done on the dugouts in the building. So it's 20 years old, they need to have some serious work done on them. And then Babe Ruth is also asking to replace the original scoreboards down there to match the other ones with the LED and the wireless capability. And that came in at $25,000. So roughly you'll see about $168,000 there. Not sure how this and where this is gonna go. This is the initial, and then it gets parsed out depending on where the dollars all sit. The last one is the greenhouse, and that's why we saw a few pictures that Lorraine slid in there, because she's always sliding in greenhouse stuff, and Janice too. So a little bit here, I really commend Janice and Lorraine for doing a lot of research on this. They met with me about 2 weeks ago, with some ideas, working with a company, what was it called again? Rough Brothers, right?
Rowell Brothers, they
Rowell,
pronounce it, but
okay.
it's spelled rough.
So there's actually, I've got a couple, 3 pictures here that I'll just kind of throw up here. These are some of the ideas that Rowell Brothers, right? Did I get it right? Types of greenhouses that are out there. So that's all I did, Lorraine, is I just pulled up these 3 samples here.
Which one do you like?
I like the number 1 one.
The first one,
The first one?
Gosh, yeah, that's.
but the price tag
Yeah,
is.
well, I'll show you these first and then we'll talk price.
Actually, I like that one.
So anyway, this is a firm, I think you guys can probably describe the firm a little bit better than me. You've worked with them closer, or you've worked with them, I haven't done anything. But the initial cost on these were well in the close to 400,000 range. And
400,000 for a greenhouse?
It's all state of the art,
yeah.
misting.
And some of that, there was a lot of exclusions that I see that number could probably have approached 450 easily. So, anyway, I let Lorraine and Janice know that that's probably not gonna fly, and I can't even do that, knowing that where we're at, trying to
Who
find
was that
money just to
thunking
finish off
sound on
other
the
funds.
phone?
So, one of the, so that's why I put in TBD. I told the administrator and the finance director, it's in there underneath that because it's just a discussion item. I know that we're probably not gonna be able to pull it off this next year. It might be 2 or 3 years down the road, but let's get people thinking and really seriously considering what this is and what the cost would be and so forth. But in the meantime, then Lorraine has come up with her silver bullet to get a greenhouse in here tomorrow.
Yes,
So, anyway, this is kind of some very, I'll let Lorraine talk about this. I'll just kind of slide through this.
well, I was driving around out in the countryside, and I came across this beauty.
There's some pictures here.
And, it's on 35 acres. It's, looks like 3 bays, and it has a, I don't know, like there's the big headroom on it. And it's gas-powered. It has a misting system, glass rooftops, and the sides look like polycarbonate to me, but I haven't been inside it yet, so I didn't actually get into it yet. But we have an appointment tomorrow afternoon to take a tour of it. And, let's see,
That price, that 300?
no, he's saying, well, the realtor is saying it, well, it could be something like 150,000,
Oh, my goodness.
but he's not positive, and it would, there's someone who's interested in the land. It's on 35 acres, but he doesn't want the greenhouse. So, we're not sure how to go all about this, but, and maybe the people who have the property could sell the greenhouse part off of it before all that happens.
They could just give it to you if you,
As a donation, of
I like
course,
that
of
idea.
course.
Tax write-off.
Right.
Yeah,
yeah.
so, but there's a lot of other details that I figure, could be looked at. But I mean, it's definitely a possibility. And it's very large. He said, it's almost a half an acre, or did he say an acre? It covers quite a lot of land, but I think we can deal with it. I mean, if we don't use the whole area, we could certainly, block it off, make sections
Where would you be putting this?
behind the maintenance, the old maintenance building.
602.
Is there enough room there?
Well, we don't, yeah, again, this is all
You'll have to get
preliminary.
dimensions
I mean,
on
the
that.
original thought was a 40 by 60 building, what you saw from Rao Brothers, that's where Janice and Lorraine were going after in that size.
This
These
is
are
a
obviously bigger than that. So Lorraine asked about it, and we can get in there. We have an appointment tomorrow at 3, correct? Tomorrow at 3. So it's right on my way home, so I'm gonna meet Lorraine out there to look at it. I guess if one of you, or if anybody wants to come, I don't know, maybe you can certainly join us if you.
Janice
if
wants to
you-
come.
When are you doing this?
Tomorrow at 3 o'clock, but, so we'll just go out there and take a look at it and just see if there's possibilities. Obviously, it's bigger than what we can probably put back there, but,
I believe that you can disassemble parts of it.
right,
You
I
know,
would
and
think
not-
that you could,
You could make it a two-peaker instead of a three. Oh, I don't know about that.
no.
You'll have a name contest for it.
So obviously, we don't need all 3. I mean, that's the other thing here, you know, depending on what, so,
Well, I mean, part of it can become the butterfly house. Would attract, you know, school children from miles around.
they can go to the state fair.
Would something older like that be really expensive to heat?
It's a 2011, he's telling me, which is pretty new. And
And, well,
we'd have to look into that.
you'll have
I'm
to
not
see tomorrow,
positive.
because I'm sure you don't know what heating system they have or how
Alls I
they
know
wanna
is
do
it's
that, so.
gas. But it looks from the outside very nice, but, you know, you get inside and check it out. I think it's aluminum, so.
Oh,
So that won't be rusting at least. But it's, you know, it's an engineered aluminum for strength. I don't think they would have had a business out there without it being, you know, able to take the snow load and the winds for this area.
Well, good. Be interesting to see what turns
Yeah.
out with that.
The one thing that we've found out, or at least I got educated on, is there is so many variables and so many little options and different things with greenhouses that basically baffles my mind sometimes. You bring up a great point, Wayne, is what's the heat like and all this. So there's a number of different things, and none of us here are gurus at a greenhouse and know what we should be looking at versus what we have. But there is was there a class or something that was?
Yeah, Central Lakes College has a greenhouse management class that I'm looking into.
Yeah, so Lorraine to get me that information, because that might be, just so it helps us, even if this doesn't come to fruition right now, at least we have a little bit more knowledge, and when we're talking to vendors or builders or like that, because the extra list that I saw on the Rao Brothers was, really, I mean, all this stuff, and they're not including it at the base price, so do you really need it or not? I mean, it's like,
If you
buy a
want it,
car,
they
the tires are optional. Well, yeah, we need the tires, but, you know, we'll put it as an option, so you don't know what we're actually getting, so. Again, I commend both of them for all the hard work they've done on this, and I do really want to say it's probably a three-plus year, unless we come onto a sweet deal like this, that will work out, but. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at with the budget cycle at this moment, so.
Okay, good. All right, then we'll move on to our other business, parking.
So here, with Quarry Park and some of the parking issues we've got out there, it's kind of a twofold thing. The council asked me to get a price on fencing in the area south of the pond of Public Works, just north, on the north side of County Road 137, where the old CIS buildings were. If you go out there today, it's actually fenced
up?
in, already done. So they approved it a couple, 3 weeks ago, and they got right on it and did it. You're actually going to see the lot actually in use for the first time next Saturday, the 11th. Centric here is holding some sort of trail run fitness thing. Quarry Park, and they know that they're gonna have more needs for parking than what Quarry Park can do. So they asked me today, and I said, yes, we would, my staff will open it up on Friday night, just leave it open, and then they have to supervise their own parking in there and clean up, and then we'll just close it up again at the end. We need it anyway for the Rivers, or for the amphitheater, so the council said, let's get her done. It's still open on the west side. We are put in a walk gate, so if you do get in there, you would have to exit, you'd have to walk if you parked in the north end, you'd have to walk all the way down to the south end to go out the big drive-in gate, and then, so we put in a walking gate on the west side there. Big enough, it's not installed yet, that wasn't in, but it's big enough that we can sneak a lawnmower through there if we had to, so smaller stuff like that. So that's new, and we're also trying to figure out our signage, the exact verbiage to keep people out of Public Works parking lot, and that's kind of a progress yet. A few things going on.
Okay, good. And then you got Wobegon Trail.
So, did anybody get to go down to to see the Wobegon Trail at all?
Yes.
Not yet.
We might need a pavilion of some sort down there and a flower bed around it one of these days. And a water fountain as they come over the bridge.
We're gonna make St. Cloud
I mean,
look so.
Okay, Lorraine.
Welcome to Wade Park.
So if you were down there, the ones that, I don't have a picture here in front of me. If you noticed that they had some regular iron powder-coated railing right off the bridge. And that went for probably about 8 feet. And then when it went to the grass, it turned into galvanized chain link fence. I wish I had a picture of it.
Chain link fence runs about 500 feet on the other side of the river in St. Cloud. We've got just about a 10-foot section.
And it's about 30 plus feet.
30 feet?
Yeah, on each side, yeah. So when I first saw it down there, I just went, oh my gosh, this does not aesthetically look pleasing at all. And it's 54-inch of regular railing, like I said, powder-coated steel, and then it converts to 6-foot chain link fence with no rail on the top, no rail on the bottom. It's just what you would see we're gonna put up for a security fence, for temporary security.
You can put vines on it.
So I asked the contractor that put in our fence out at the Public Works, I said, give me a quote on what it's gonna cost to take that out and put in a 54-inch high chain link black coated fence with rail on top and bottoms, because you know what's gonna happen, they're just gonna wreck it. And it would look better, and I got that quote today for about 2,000, so I'm gonna approve that and get that taken out, and so our side will look better, aesthetically pleasing, so anyway, I just wanted to share that with you, that we're working on that.
You know, a thought that occurred with the Wobegon Trail coming into Way Park. Have there been any thoughts about making a sign showing our trail system?
Yes and no.
I know we talked about it
I know
a
the
long,
mayor-
long time ago.
The mayor's asked me to come up with some sort of a sign to show where the Wobegon Trail's at. Well, that reminds me, we do have one other item here. Actually, let me bring that up first, because it ties perfectly into what you're talking about, Ken. As far as the overall trail system, no, but we can certainly do that. I think that's a pretty good idea. And
Well,
maybe
you
get
know,
a-
because we got the Healthy Living Trail, now that people are gonna be a little more exposed to it, then they'll start understanding it,
Mhm.
and then you have the fitness court. So there's a lot of, exercise type stuff there, just,
Yeah,
make sure people are aware of it.
it might be best to even look at a piece of granite like we did for the ball fields, which is going to have to be redone, but we could do the same thing with that. And label out the Glacial Lakes Trail, this is the, where you can get on what we call the Glacial Lakes versus,
Right.
Wobegon. So, part of the other thing that I didn't have on, I apologize for, is John got a grant here, what was it, 2 years ago, a year ago? The 10th Avenue DNR grant.
Yeah, right.
2 years ago. So, this is going in front of the council Monday night for authorization to go out to bid. So, this is,
$50,000.
yeah, so it's not too much here, I mean, it's, again, here's all the stuff that you gotta deal with. This is from the section from basically Great Oak Drive, connecting, oh, excuse me, sorry, thank you, Ken. Entrance into the park here, going north to the existing trail here. So, all these trees have to be removed. It'll match just like it is on the south side of the road there. We have to do some adjustments to the parking lot because it encroaches into that. And then here's a, much more I can blow it up without. Side, or the trail actually gets adjusted over, 10-foot trail. So then everything in the park on the Wobegon Trail would actually be complete on our side. This is the one last missing link here, the 600-some feet. Got to do some storm sewer work in there. Got the lighting in there. So, anyway, that's going to go out for bid, and we'll see where those numbers are at. But we need to spend that money and have that project finished by June the 30th of next year, so. So yes, the mayor was talking about obviously putting something over here, like saying you could get on the Wobegon Trail here, and using this as a trailhead.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think once we get done with the parking lot here, we can come up with something. The other thing that's out there is now it's done, everybody is clamoring about the snowmobiles, and that's an issue that Waite Park currently doesn't allow it, but we will. But the problem is it's on the other side of the river where there's some debate if it's gonna be allowed or not, so. And the snowmobilers are a pretty big lobby and they're pushing hard, so stay tuned. I mean, if we're gonna do it, we had always proposed having a trail through here, if you can.
Well, we can only ride them once a year. The way it's going.
There was, it's not on here, but we had that proposed trail to come from off this parking lot to get on to here access. And if that all does go forward, then we'd probably do something like that next year, but.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're definitely looking to doing that.
Okay. All right, anybody have anything else? Otherwise, I need a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you very much.